Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to continue our NFL predictions with the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that had a lot of postseason aspirations after a surprisingly good run last year. But then the next season happened. It looked like they were on their way, but they wound up collapsing on themselves and missing it altogether. A team like Jacksonville, that should not happen. But it happened. But let's take a look at their schedule last year to see how it happened. And last year, they started off very, very strong. A 6-2 start to the season showed a lot of promise, which included a win, sweeping the Indianapolis Colts, beating the Bills in London, also beating the Falcons in London, the first team to play back-to-back games in London, beating the Saints on the road on Thursday night, and beating Pittsburgh on the road. Very impressive. Then they got destroyed by the 49ers. Okay, that wasn't really a big cause for concern at the time. But they rebounded and got two more big divisional wins against the Tennessee Titans and Houston Texans. But after that, this is when the team fell apart. Cincinnati Bengals, that was the game Trevor Lawrence got hurt. He kept playing through the injury, and it ended up hurting their team in the next 4 games. And sure, he sat out the Carolina Panther game that they won, but the Tennessee Titan game, it fell apart, and that's how they missed the playoffs. And this team should not have missed the playoffs. And here are some highlights. That 8-3 start that I've mentioned in the schedule, that's gonna say wow, because 8-3, you should make the postseason. And then they swept in London. First, like I said, they became the first team to win back-to-back games in London. And seeing Calvin Ridley returning to football was pretty good, even though it was kind of underwhelming. It was nice seeing Ridley return after a year away from the game. And oh boy, the lowlights. And it all starts with the Trevor Lawrence injury. Because, okay, for me, Trevor Lawrence, I always felt like he was good, just not great. But he is the key of making Jacksonville go. If he's on the field, Jacksonville has a chance. When he's not on the field, they don't have a chance. And once he got hurt, he pretty much wasn't the same guy. Because that's what happens when you try to play through injuries. And then that led to the collapse. An 8-3 start led it to a 9-8 finish. The only win they won during that collapse stretch was Carolina, who was the worst team in the league by a freaking mile. And the fact that they ended up losing all those games, changes were made to the offense. I think the offensive coordinator got fired, and the defensive coordinator, I think he got fired too. But again, 8-3 start, you should not miss the postseason. And looking at their additions and subtractions, they added Gabe Davis from Buffalo. They acquired Mac Jones for the Patriots. They added Mitch Morse from the Bills. Eric Armstead, he was cut by the 49ers. He's now joining them. Ronald Darby, he's now on the team. And Darnell Savage, who was once played for Green Bay, he's now in Duval. But the losses, Calvin Ridley, he's playing for a division rival. Darius Williams, he decided to return to LA. Rayshawn Jenkins, he got cut, and I think he's playing with Seattle now. And Brandon McManus, he was not brought back either. And at the draft, they decided to draft Brian Thomas Jr. to be their field stretcher for the Jacksonville offense. And because of that, Zay Jones was released by the team. I did not mention him in the subtractions because it literally happened like days ago when I recorded this. Mason Smith, another LSU player, was taken to add some depth on the D line. They also drafted Jarrian Jones from Florida State to get some depth at corner, as in Deontay Pritz from Mississippi, aka Ole Miss. And they found their Brandon McManus replacement at kicker with Cam Little from the University of Arkansas. He might end up being the biggest impact player on this team. Who knows? But Jacksonville cannot afford a repeat season, right? Let's take a look. All right, Duval County, let's take a look at your schedule. And you're going to start off the season with the Miami Dolphins, a game that, if it was up to me, should be pushed to 4 because their fans will be cooking in the stands. But no, the NFL doesn't care about fan safety. But anyway, that's beside the point. Battle of Florida, I'm going to have to take the Miami Dolphins. They're at home. Got to give them the win here. But week 2 against the Browns, how about a win there? At Buffalo, now, story goes they have beaten the Bills last year in London, but the Bills are coming off a mini bye, and I have to go with the Bills for that one. Then against the Houston Texans, I'm going to get them winning on the road against the Texans. And that takes us right into week 5 against the Indianapolis Colts. As we all know, Jaguars own the Colts, especially in Duval County. I have no choice but to give them a win there. And in week 6 against the Bears, I already have them winning in London on the road. Which, I don't know which games are the London games. I think it was... Yes, it's week 6 and 7. And week 7, of course, the Patriots aren't going to be a good team at all this year. I got to give the Jacksonville a win here. Then against Green Bay, I've actually gone back and forth with this one a bit. But I'm going to give Green Bay the road win here. And then against the Philadelphia Eagles, Doug Peterson goes back to Philly for the second time in his career. I have to roll with the Eagles on that one. And then the Minnesota Vikings, I do think Jacksonville is better than the Vikings. Got to give them a win there. And then Detroit Lions, yeah, I don't think this one's going to be a contest. Right to their bye week, and after the bye week, they'll have Houston Texans. I got them winning on the road for that one. Week 14, Tennessee Titans. I know revenge is gonna come in this game. Week 15, New York Jets. I think this one could go either in any direction, but I'm gonna give the slight edge to Jacksonville, but I have them losing to the Las Vegas Raiders. I have them winning against. I have them sweeping Colts on the road, which puts their record at 9-8. That same record they were last year. Who knows if 9-8 could get them in the postseason? We'll just have to see. But for now, that concludes the Jacksonville Jaguars predictions. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safely, and I'll see you next time.